As you lovely folks already know, the 90-day streets never sleep. And in this video here, we're going to be covering some of the things that went down on 90-day diaries, as well as also other things that happened away from that as well. And I gotta say, a lot of juicy information to come. Now let's begin with John. Now when it comes to John and Meghan, last week John said on 90-day diaries that he wanted to have a DNA test, purely because, well, one, their sexual activity wasn't that much, and also on top of that, there was so many men in this world who do live a life where they are parents to a child that they have no idea actually was never theirs in the first place, because the woman decided to go and step out and do some funky business. So John obviously wants to get those results. Those results did come in, but something very interesting also happens prior to the results, which I think is rather contradictory. Let's have a watch.
Everyone's been home just for a few weeks now, and I just can't help but love her. She's cute, she's funny, and she's totally captured my heart. Biologically mine, I still love her enough to, stand by and raise her as my own.
So can somebody please answer this question for me? So what is the point of him having a paternity test, a DNA test, if now the baby's come, he's still going to want to be there for the child purely because now the baby's here, he's obviously feeling this attachment. He's in awe of the energy that this baby is now brought to the table, which I understand. I've heard it so many times that when a baby's born, everything just changes for many people. People that want to step up, of course. People that don't, different conversation. So even though I understand the feeling, does it still make sense, given the fact that he wanted a paternity test to make sure this baby was his before deciding he actually wanted to raise this child? Give me your thoughts on that one, because boy, that is very interesting.
Paternity, 99.9998%. It's like 9998%.
So now he's found out that the baby is definitely his. 99.9% the baby is his, which is great. So now he doesn't have to worry about sticking by a child that potentially was never going to be his, but now he knows it's his, so he can stick by. Honestly, the whole thing is kind of crazy. Yeah. But
sure. Maybe marriage is back on the table. I don't think so. I think we got a lot of other stuff we need to figure out. But
so in the last time we saw these two on 90-day diaries, they had an argument in the car. And I believe he was even around the idea of infidelity. I think Meghan was accusing him of that again, something along those lines anyway. And we saw the scene where he decided to take the wedding ring or the engagement ring and threw it out the car door. So therefore the engagement ended up coming to a stall. Now, of course, they have stayed together since then. And as I said before, this is why her being pregnant came as a surprise to John, because their sexual activities were less. And also because he's on testosterone, he also said that means his sperm count was obviously a lot lower. But either way, though, the baby's here, the baby's theirs. And now he's thinking, now the baby's here, maybe it means marriage should be back on the cards. Answer me this question, folks. Should a baby be the reason why people, one, stay together, two, then actually decide to actually get married? Because very interesting things happening here so far with John. First question, just to remind you folks, was the question of, well, he said, I need a paternity test to make sure this baby's mine before I start to raise it. But then he says, if the baby's not mine, because I've now fallen in love with the baby after a couple of days, I'm going to raise it anyway. Does that make sense? And then also this one here, does it make sense to now want to get married because it's confirmation has come that the baby's theirs? Give me your thoughts. But let's see what Meghan had to say.
I do not want marriage. Oh wow, look at that. Fellas, if you want fatherhood seems if you guys are...
Now this is something else that I found very interesting from Meghan. Now Meghan is the one that was pushing for John to propose to her. The first time we saw them on 90 Day Single Life, she was literally pushing that John make a woman a proposal because she wanted that security. Now all of a sudden she doesn't want it. But obviously time has changed, and obviously she's been through ups and downs with him, and maybe she understands things a bit better. So maybe now she wants to slow things down. But the reason that she gave to slow things down is very interesting. She said, let's see how fatherhood treats you first. So was Meghan right to, one, get pregnant with a man that she doesn't even know if he's going to want to step up properly or the way she's going to see fit? And two, is she right to then say, well, before marriage even becomes a thing again in our relationship, well, let's just see how you cope as a father first? Give me your thoughts on that. To be fair, the second one of her seeing his fatherhood first, I can understand to a certain degree, but at the same time, why have a child with him? But I get it. Their idea is it wasn't planned. But if you have an unprotected intimacy, you can't tell me that it wasn't planned. Especially if you know none of you's on contraception. Do you know what I mean? Either way, though, what do you think about Meghan's reasoning of not wanting to get married yet because she wants to experience John as a father first? So many questions. And the main thing is your answers. Let me know what they are, please. Now we're going to move on to the next one. And this one here is all about Tania. Tania is somebody that we haven't seen in a while. She first debuted on the show with St. John, but since then, them two have gone separate ways and they're definitely living completely different lives. So much to the point that Tania is now preferably into women more than she is into men. And St. John's out there with his OF girl doing whatever the hell they're doing. Yeah. Either way, though, let's see what's happening with Tania.
I need a sister.
Me?
Yeah.
Like, have a child with me.
Well, I mean,
Definitely like top 5.
So Tania wants to have a child, but here's the thing, her last relationship did not work out with her last previous girlfriend. And she's now getting to a point, I believe she says she's around the age of 35, and she always wanted to be a mother. And because she hasn't got a partner to do so, she now wants to go through the process of getting a sperm donor. And she's more than happy to step up to be a single mother. Listen, you do you. Many people do that anyway in this world, which is completely fine. So therefore, she decided to ask her good old friend Curtis. Now, Curtis is a gay man. So that's why she thought maybe I could ask him and he wouldn't mind. But Curtis obviously definitely gave her his own opinion.
Craziest questions I've asked in my life. Being said, I just don't think I'm in the space to have children at this point in my life, you know.
It's quite interesting though, because it tells me that obviously with her friend Curtis here, it's clear that obviously if he was to be a sperm donor, he obviously would want to be in the life of that child, which would be quite interesting though. Because obviously we know these two can never be in a relationship because, well, he doesn't like, well, he's not into women. Correction, I was going to say he doesn't like women, which is the complete wrong statement. Power of words, folks. But he's obviously not into women. But the good news is that at least Curtis is the kind of person that if he was to become a sperm donor, he would actually want to still be actively in that child's life. So I respect him saying that, well, I'm just not at that stage because I don't want to bring in a child right now. Obviously, it would be very different if he didn't care about being in the child's life. Then I guess maybe his answer would be different. Who knows?
to be my sperm donor right now truly hurts my heart. I understand it, but
So try to find your true love and try to find the person that's going to give you your baby, because everything that's meant for you is definitely going to happen for you.
Now, this brings me to my last question when it comes to Tania here. The question is, should women, maybe even men for that matter, or anyone that gets that's in a position to have a child that involves a sperm donor or something that there's, have a child alone, okay? Yeah. The question is, should people be quick enough to want to actually be a single parent straight off the bat by getting a sperm donor or any other things that can help you be a parent as a single parent? Or should people actually wait until they find the right person, the person that they actually want to be with, the person that actually wants to be with them, to then actually have a family? Now, to be fair, I can understand that may be a tough question for some of you people because it can be a bit subjective. Because at the end of the day, there is no proof anymore, to be honest with you, in this world that a child is better off in a home where it has both mom and dad, or both dad and dad, or both mom and mom. And there is no proof in this world anymore that children are less than or are not as well raised when they come from a single household. Because when we look in the world now, there are many people that come from a household where they had a single parent, just a one parent, and their lives still turned out to be absolutely fantastic. And then there's people that come from a life where they've had both parents and their life has not turned out to be fantastic. So really and truly, is there anything wrong with people wanting to, I don't want to use the word rush the process, but anybody that wants to have a kid right now and they're more than happy to go and do it alone up until maybe they find someone in the future? What do you think? Do you think Tania should still pursue her quest of finding a sperm donor so she can have a child ASAP? Or do you think she should wait for somebody to come in her life first before having a kid? I've given you the tools. You give me your answers. That's the main thing here. But now we're going to move on to the next one. And this one here is all about Jovi and Yara. These two. So always the same bloody story, it's just a different season. But let's get into it.
Jovi with his job. At first, it was fun, to be honest, and it was nice because he helped me with my life. He helped me to do the things in the house, watch the TV, drink his beer, go with his friends.
We've known that Yara for years has wanted Jovi to leave his job and to get a job that is closer to home, because she wanted him to be at home more than him away. Because when he goes to work, he goes away for weeks upon ends or months upon ends, and then comes back. And then of course within that timeline, Yara's left to obviously raise their daughter alone, well, but also with the assistance of Gwen being Jovi's mother. So therefore she's not necessarily alone, but of course when it comes to making core memories, has both mum and dad being there for the child, that's obviously where it's very key for him to be home more than away. But as you can heard, Jovi has now officially left his job. He will be looking for a new one at some point, but he's left his job and right now he's enjoying his monies. But also on top of that, Yara was also still expecting him to still be around, to actually be around the way she wanted him to be. But the thing is though, if you take a man that has made work his whole life, and you want him to just be at home all day? That's not going to happen. Because you see, the problem is that with men that actually want to work, that actually want to be active, if they leave a job and then if they go from doing a job to doing nothing, it can massively affect a man's mental health. And it seems to me that obviously when it comes to Jovi, I don't know if he's staying in the move because he doesn't want his mental health to go down, or if he's staying in the move because generally he just thinks he's now on vacation and he's now able to go and do what he wants, even though this wasn't necessarily what Yara wanted. And this is the issue with these two. Communication and understanding each other has always been a massive issue. She wanted him to get a job closer, therefore they can spend time together as a family. Meanwhile, Jovi has other plans. His plans is to do what? To go out drinking and having a good time with his buddies. Which, to be fair, isn't a bad thing if you can find a balance that involves you spending time with your wife, spending time with your child, and also, I guess, spending time with your friends. But if you're spending time with your friends more than you are with your wife or your child, that's where things can definitely get very unfair and very stupid. And I can understand that Yara and having issues. But let's dive in and see where this goes.
A huge issue in that relationship.
You don't boss me around every day and tell me what to do because that's not fun for me.
But like, there is a responsibility that has to be done with your friends. You come home at 3 a.m. Yeah, you bring Riley to school, whatever. Then you come because you're tired and you sleep.
So it seems to me that obviously when it comes to Jovi, his priorities are to do certain things. So of course he's more than happy to be there for their daughter to drop her to school. But at the same time, though, once he's done that, instead of either one, spending time with his wife, or two, maybe helping her out with some of the chores around the house, he's doing what? Waking up, taking Maya to school, going back to sleep, waking up, bringing her back home, going back to sleep, or picking up from school, then going back out with his friends. It seems to me that everything that he's doing right now seems to not have Yara involved. But Jovi did say something quite interesting here.
Let's get a babysitter tonight. Let's go do something fun. She's like, oh no, I just want to stay at home. I have a lot to do. I'm like, okay, like I'm trying.
But Jovi did say that each time, he wants to go and do something or whatnot, he does propose ideas to Yara. But Yara seems to be the one that keeps saying no. Now, of course, like I said before, communication with these two has never been good. It's always been very, very sticky. And it seems to me as if, well, Jovi claims on one story that he actually does offer her to go and do things with her, but she turns him down. But her story is, well, all you do is go out, come back at 3 a.m. and then sleep all day. The question is, who's telling the truth? But at the same time, though, does it matter who's telling the truth? Because it seems to me that regardless of who's lying and who's not, what matters more is that they're both in a situation where their communication is horrendous. Give me your thoughts on that, please. But let's continue.
Trying to encourage you to come with me. I'm welcome in my own home, and I feel like we're growing apart. I mean, we're sleeping in separate rooms sometimes. It's just
When you start sleeping in separate rooms, oh boy, that is not good. It is crazy though, because I do know that sometimes there are people out here, men and women, who want their partners to leave a job or to move their job somewhere closer before they can be with that person more and more. And sometimes that does work out because you've communicated well. But sometimes it can make things a whole lot worse because there are a lot of people that I've come across in this lifetime who say that my relationship with my ex was actually better when he was away for work. But whenever he was home, our relationship was just not good. So the time apart was actually more beneficial, which, to be fair, does state that clearly your relationship was never healthy in the first place. So maybe this is what's been exposed when it comes to these two, that their relationship is obviously getting worse because now they're around each other too much. And I guess that's something they never really normalized. But even if they didn't normalize it, it doesn't mean that they should be falling out. It means that they've got an opportunity to start fresh. When I say start fresh, what I mean is sometimes in relationships, when things aren't going well, there's nothing wrong with going back to the basics. And the basics could easily be like, you know what? Let's start doing the date once a week. Okay, once a week, we're going to go on a date, just me and you. And then obviously 2 or 3 times a week, we're going to go out with our daughter. We're going to go do this, that, and other. And then the other days of the week, we're going to go do this. You know what I mean? Like, you can always reset things. That's one of the most key things that people don't do in relationships, resetting. Okay, but at the same time, for that to work, both parties have to be on board.
it's become weird. Personally, want to do this? Maybe we actually do need to spend some time apart. Otherwise, I don't know how much longer this marriage could last.
I mean, the fact that he thinks spending time apart is going to help them is crazy because, buddy, you were spending time apart from her all this time when you've been working and going away for X, Y, Z. But again, that exposed what I'm saying here. Their relationship clearly was more stable when he was spending more time away from her. But I guess at the same time, though, she still wanted him home more. But at the same time, I guess maybe she forgot what it's like to have him around too many times.
Make you happy to be unhealthy and drink beer and get drunk with your stupid ass friends. Go and do that.
Told me before, you wanted me to be home, that everything would be better when I get home, right?
Yeah, but not like this. I want to be home.
So this is where Jovi's obviously not working, or he's obviously not listening. He said, yeah, I want you to be home. I want you to be home with us. Not to be home with your friends drinking all the time. This is unhealthy, not only just for your body, but unhealthy for our relationship. But Jovi's not listening. He's thinking home just means home. But remember last time we saw these two on The Last Resort, even when it came to their intimacy life, it was also clear that even then Jovi's also selfish. She spoke about how whenever they get intimate, he never wants to take it slow. He never wants to do anything romantic. He just wants to get in and out quickly, which really has made her not want to be in the bedroom with him as much as she should have, or if not at all. And then obviously, and that was due to the fact that she tried to communicate it, but Jovi was not listening. Same thing is happening here. She's trying to communicate, hey, yeah, I know you're back home, but you're not home with us though. You're not listening to what I'm trying to tell you. And Jovi being Jovi, he's like, oh, you're just being blah, 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 blah. Jovi's listening skills, to be fair, have never been great, but hey, it is what it is.
Jovi.
I can't live like this. I'm a prisoner in my own home. I can't do anything I want to do without being criticized for it. I don't know, like I'm being attacked. So maybe we actually do need to spend some time apart. I deal with all your pressure and all your nonsense.
Just sit back. I'm just talking to you. Because you're not my little Bella.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we grew up together and I grew up and you didn't.
You're someone.
I mean, listen, the question is, folks, do you agree with Yara's analysis of her husband Jovi that he's not mentally developed? Please give me your thoughts on that one. I'm definitely looking forward to your answer on that one. But now we're going to move on to something else. So recently I did upload this onto my YouTube Shorts, and this here is a video of who the one and only. Oops, that don't know why it's taking me to her, because that's not what I asked for. I literally asked for this one here. You know,
she got for me.
There we go. My apologies. So recently, obviously, I uploaded this one here, and as you can see, this is a Lay's partnership promotion by the one and only Veronica. Veronica and her who? Let me just play with the sound real quick so you can see it. Don't really have to hear what they say because all they do is promoting the product, but it's quite interesting because the last time we saw these two people, guess what, folks? They were broken up again. Okay. Now we know that these two got engaged. And then before the wedding, what happened? They both got arrested for domestic battery against each other. At that point, we thought, okay, the relationship is done and dusted. But nope. They then resurfaced again, but this time they were married. And then, guess what happened? They disappeared. And then they resurfaced again, saying that, oh, no, hold a minute, we've now broken up. And in that breakup, they had exposed about each other's behaviors. You know, talking about the negatives. And then all of a sudden, boom, back together. Their relationship is absolutely horrendous. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are ever in a position with somebody that you are in a position where you either fight with them verbally or physically or in any way that just isn't healthy, leave. Do not let someone back in your life. Now, the only question that we have here, or that I have here for you folks, is I wonder who actually is the problem in their relationship. Who's the one that keeps causing the issues? And then asking for that person to come back. I feel like that's a very key question, because at the end of the day, this is getting absolutely ugly out of hand. Now, I also want to move on to another one. This one here is all about Jenny and Sumit. Now, the thing is, this one here, this is where they're asking for money. I'm going to play a little bit of it, and then after that, I'm going to get into some of the comments that you lovely folks have had to say.
Need money because it's
I don't have insurance in India.
Yeah, insurance in India we don't have, and there's a lot of thing, and obviously, and why Jenny is not in America, because in order to go to America, Jenny she cannot travel by herself, and not easy to travel for that long, and second is like. It's not easy for me to get it.
Right, now I'm going to get into some of the comments that you folks had to say here, okay? So, obviously, as you can see here, we got the first one that says she needs to come back to America and get insurance. The question is, do you folks agree? Even though, obviously, he said that traveling for her isn't as easy as 1, 2, 3. Either way, though, people are like, yeah, but maybe America's still the best bet for you. Especially given the fact that she said that the insurance, well, in India, doesn't exist. Also continues by saying, Jenny, you have Medicare. Come back to the USA for treatment. Jenny is going to get worse for her family. Needs to go and get her. Now, this is the thing. We don't know how far she is into her ALS. But is it too late for her to now jump on the plane? Look at it this way. She was able to jump on the plane to come to the UK to film The Last Resort. Now, don't get me wrong, The Last Resort was obviously filmed some months back, so obviously things have changed since then. But upon seeing this new season, we know that she definitely had ALS then, because we could notice by her speech and everything about her, right? So if she was able to take that flight, I see no reason why she would be unable to take a flight now to the USA. Obviously, it'd be a longer flight, but either way, taking that one-way trip to the USA, why can she not do that? Now, of course, there is the part where maybe, and I don't know this for sure, maybe Sumit cannot go with her because maybe for visa issues. But here's the thing though, what matters more, being in India where you're not getting support, or being away from your husband, and you can go to a country like America where you got insurance, you got Medicare, and you can actually get the support that you need. Because at the end of the day, coming online and then setting up a GoFundMe, coming online and asking me for money, meanwhile, you can literally go back home and get the treatment already sorted for you without you having to ask the public for money. And this is why people like myself have issues with people go on TV shows and then think it's okay for them to do what? Think it's okay for them to ask a GoFundMe. Because at the end of the day, if you right now are not on TV, are not on the internet, you're not somebody that has a following. If something happens to you, if you set up a GoFundMe, imagine how long it's going to take for people to even notice your GoFundMe is there. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I always say, yeah. Either way though, the matter of the fact is, it is sad to see and to hear Jenny obviously being the way she is, obviously being in this situation, being in this position. No one wants to be in this position, I completely get it. But at the same time though, because we know that she could be in America right now, getting the help and support that she needs, well, it's frustrating that she's not choosing that option. Do you see what I'm saying? And therefore, I can understand why some people are like, listen, Janet, you need to go home. Like, enough is enough. But instead of choosing to go home, she wants to stay in India and wants to continuously making videos of Summit talking about how much they need money from us. Give me your thoughts on that, folks. Do you think they're wrong? Do you think they're right in what they're doing? And even more importantly, what would you do if you was in a similar situation? Now we're going to move on to the next one here, the last piece of information. This one's all about Pedro. Now, some of you may have already seen that obviously yesterday I did upload on my YouTube Shorts that Pedro has now, is now engaged. Now, he's engaged to Valentina. Valentina did appear on the last season of 90 Day Fiance, The Single Life, at the very end, at the tail, as she was obviously debuted as Pedro's new girlfriend. And as you can see here, big congratulations are in order for Pedro and Valentina are engaged, okay? And then obviously, you know what? Let me do one bit here. Let me go to the source. Go direct to the source. See exactly what he's had to say in his actual post, you know what I mean? But as you can see, it's a collaboration, so it's the same. Okay, my bad. IG is not really my thing. Anyway, today we're not just celebrating a yes, we're celebrating the moment when two paths, two stories, and two dreams decided to become one forever. Oh, isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely? Where was this game when you were trying to get Sophie though? But the past is the past. It is what it is. You're in a better place now with a better, well, I like to hold a better woman. Now, we continue here where it says, Valentina came into my life as an answer, as a blessing that God placed on my path to show me that true love isn't something you search for. It's something you recognize. With her, I learned that peace also has a name. The name that home can live in a single look, and that future is built hand in hand with the person who lifts you up, honors you, and loves you with truth. Oh, I love this. This is beautiful. Beautiful. Today our greatest story begins. A story of faith, purpose, and love that never gives up. Oh, god damn. Hey, do I need to fall in love right now? Do I need to find myself a Valentina to fall in love right now? What's going on here? So much aura, but let's continue. Thank you, my love, for choosing this journey with me. What's coming will be even more beautiful than what we've dreamed. Oh, damn, we're going places bigger than our dreams. Damn, okay, Pedro, you, my guy. You're not my guy, but yeah, anyway. Because with you, every day I become a better man. I love you. Oh, a woman that makes you feel like a better man. Oh, she is definitely 1000% a keeper. And as you can see, this is the images of him proposing to her at the beach, I believe, probably in the DR. Could be wrong, but just gonna assume that, but that's where he's from. Now I gotta say, okay, nice little ring. Okay, I'm not a jewelry person, so I won't even know whether it's a good ring or not, to be honest with you. I'm terrible with it. Just not materialistic. I can't even say the black cloud word. Can you imagine? Anyway, as you can see, that obviously these two obviously having a great time with their photos and obviously enjoying themselves. The question is though, this was a collaboration with 90 Day Fiance, so that brings me to a simple question. Does this mean that we are going to be seeing the build-up upon their proposal, their engagement in a season of 90 Day Fiance? Which one? I don't know. Would it be, well, the flagship show is on right now, so maybe it won't be that. Or it could be on the next one of the flagship show of 90 Day Fiance, or it could be on Happily Ever After, but then that's not possible because you have to be on a form of a show first before you can be Happily Ever After. Will it be the other way if they decide to relocate to the DR? You never know. It could be that one. Okay. It wouldn't be the single life. I mean, it could be, but it wouldn't make sense. Or it could just be 90 Day Diaries. Probably best if they do as 90 Day Diary story, to be honest with you, because the benefit of that, at least when they tell the story, they can tell it with lack of editing that's going to make their build up look dramatic, when in reality clearly these two have had a very smooth path up until this point. So to be fair, I really hope that it won't be televised, to be honest with you, because you know what's going to happen if they televise their build up to this engagement. They're definitely going to make it look like as if they went through these crazy rocky parts and she's now a red flag or he's now a red flag, all that kind of malarkey nonsense. He's moving mad, she's moving, nah, we don't want none of that. So hopefully they won't bring their relationship onto the TV and these two can just enjoy their life, okay? Especially after reading that. Oh boy, leave the happy couple alone, okay? Does anybody want to fall in love real quick? You know what I'm saying? Just for 2 seconds, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, not for the long term. Yeah. I just want to feel that for a second. Yeah. Just playing, just kidding. Anyway, with that being said, though, I hope you all have a great day, and I hope any one of you out there who thought love is dead, chivalry is dead, the whole shebang, well, I hope Pedro has given you hope that yes, it is still alive. You just be patient for the right person to come in whenever the hell they appear in your life. Okay, just have the faith. But with that being said, though, thank you so much for your time. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and most importantly, enjoy the beautiful weather right now, even though it is humid as hell in the UK. And also hype the video on your way out. Thank you so much. I'm out. Peace.